Now I'm going to ask some questions to Layo. So Layo, where are you? There you are. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Very well. Yeah, great to see you. Thanks for coming. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're doing?
My name is Layo, as you can see. I live in London. I live in the East End of London, in a wonderful place called Ilford. And what do I do? Most days of the week, I work in a very unique place. I work in the House of Commons, in the House of Parliament. And I think about culture change and how to make that place a more equitable place to work. So not much to do there.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
So when you're not changing the world in the House of Commons, what do you do to relax and chill out?
COVID has increased my Netflix viewing, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, yeah.
Much more Netflix. I enjoy eating out, I enjoy socializing, and yeah, eating out, socializing, games, board games, or just any form of games. So yeah, very much of an extrovert.
Great. And I know that you have been on a Serve Asia trip. For those who don't know, Serve Asia is OMF's short-term mission program. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about your Serve Asia trip? Where did you go? What did you do?
Okay, so my Serve Asia trip was to do some work with what is called TCKs, so Third Culture Kids. And I went to Thailand with a group from East Asia. Yeah, went out there to help with their kids' work, help support their kids' work. And I think I'm very much a people person, so working with kids is never, working with people from all the ages has never been a problem. So I was really curious to see what the work out in closed countries was like. So yeah, helping out with kids was a good fit for me, and a good sort of little bit of an in.
Yeah, great. So tell us a little bit about how you got to that Serve Asia trip. What made you think, if we can use the language of this theme, what made you think God was calling you to do that short-term trip there?
Yeah, calling is such an interesting word, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's been said already that it does feel a little bit main character energy, like, it was Lord, like, Lord, do you think it is okay for me to serve in this way? And the doors, I pushed the doors and the doors were open. So basically I have a friend who serves in a closed country, and we've been friends for a long time, and I kept in touch with her. I barely knew her when I first met her, as in, like, I barely knew her when we met in person in the UK. But over the years, I just read her prayer letters. They were very engaging prayer letters. Read her prayer letters, prayed for her, emailed back and forth. And as time went on, when she would come back to the UK, we'd meet up. Yeah, it's kind of like a God-ordained friendship, really. And I got more and more curious as to what she was up to, and what God was up to in that part of the world. And she's very open and very inviting. So she was like, why don't you come and see? Why don't you see what's going on here? Because of where I work is great in terms of annual leave. So I had a generous amount of annual leave. I was able to, yeah, exactly. I was able to use that, so I ended up there in January of 2020, which was a really unique time to go. But yeah, I think that feeling of being called was just part of a day-to-day friendship, and her saying, why don't you try this? Or why don't you come and see? And I pushed the doors gently and the Lord opened them. Yes, lots of forms OMF asks you to fill. There's like proper due diligence being done,
yeah,
which is
due diligence. That's what it is.
Absolutely fine for me. So yeah, I think it was just how yeah, again, just Lord, how would you have me serve you and get a bigger vision for what you're doing in the world? And that was that.
Fantastic. How did your church feel about you going on this trip? Were they involved at all?
Yeah, I think so. I can't quite remember because it was quite a while ago now. But I think I had to get some recommendations from people in church. And I was very open with church to let them know that I was going to Thailand. They were keen. They were really happy for me to go along. My friend actually visited my church quite a bit before when she was in London, and it was just great to like see my pastor. Once he heard about her work with OMF, he just was like, "Can we pray? Can I pray for you?" So yeah, there was a lot of support from church. Yeah.
Great. And so you went on this short-term trip. You had a good time, I presume. Yeah. And then you came back to London. So is that just a kind of like, tick the list on your bucket list or whatever and move on, or what's there now for you in terms of cross-cultural ministry?
Yeah, good question. So East London is one of the most diverse parts of the world, really, Natch. It's this the nations come to East London, as I'm from the nations. So I have a particular, I guess, a global mindset already naturally. And I'm always curious to hear stories of what the Lord is doing around the world. So I was thinking, what did I think? And I think I was settling in it as I was on this trip and as I was talking to the missionaries and getting to know what they were doing. And I think for me, it's really facilitating people to go out. I've got lots of reasons why it's wise for me to stay here in East London. But before COVID and before all the craziness, and who knows what the Lord will do afterwards, but my plan was and is to be able to lead a group from my church. My church is growing very much, lots of young people, and to lead a group of people, to take them out so that they can see and they can hear some of the stories that I hear, and who knows what the Lord will do in terms of sending the next generation out to Asia. That's been my sort of thought and my prayer, really, as I've been thinking about how I would sort of support. So it would be in very much an informal capacity, and whatever I can to facilitate the work that's going on out there and taking people out there. I think that's where the Lord is leading me.
That's fantastic, and it's great to hear. You're praying for missionaries. You're inspiring other people to go. You're taking people with you. That's fantastic, and God has put you in East London, where, as you say, the nations have come to you. You're able to welcome people from other nations, and in your work as well. You've got you're shining as a light in that place. And being a witness for Christ there. So yeah, it's really encouraging to chat to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's been great to chat with you a bit. Now we're going to thank you. Now we're going to go to Cassandra, who's going to share a little bit more about opportunities with Serve Asia. So over to you, Cassie.
Thanks so much. I just forgot to unmute myself. I think Ruben's got a slide for us, but whilst that's coming up, just a note about what is Serve Asia. Serve Asia is the short-term mission program that disciples people into mission and beyond, and that's for up to 12 months. So at the moment, you might think that we've all gone to sleep and we've put on snooze button or whatever it is and then wake up after the pandemic, but actually there are still opportunities to participate in God's mission to East Asians. Here in the UK, online, and even in Asia. So I'll just give you the three even that I've got here. And I think we'll give you some links later about all of these opportunities. But so the first one is Beyond Borders, and this is really an initiative where we're working and partnering with people who are working with East Asians in the UK. And so it kind of functions a little bit like a sort of internship. So it's a 4-week thing. You can do that. You go over to Belfast for 4 weeks and just see what's happening with the work with Japanese people, Chinese people. And part of our OMF team, inspiring people to participate in God's mission, which is many ways, such as like Natch already mentioned, like welcoming people, even inspiring, praying, and so on. And then the middle one, which is virtual placements. There are actually things you can do online, such one as prayer. And so there's a team who will take you through several weeks maybe of prayer on a prayer journey, and that's online, and you get links to that and so on. And so you kind of engage in that way. And then we've also got opportunities to serve and support the prayer ministry, and or even the mobilization or inspiring ministry. So we are on the lookout for people who are social media savvy, basically, and are really interested in getting prayer going for other people in a very engaging kind of way online. So if that's that kind of thing that you're into, maybe you want to have a conversation with someone and see like, how do you really participate in that? And also we are engaging with Latin American world. So if Spanish is your thing, you know, who knows what you can do. And then, so the last one, yes, we've got Mona there, but I put that up there because our ways of ministering with people are diverse, and also tap into people's, not just their calling, but their gifting as well. And so we actually do have an opportunity to intern with an artist, like a real proper artist. And he's got his gallery out there and so on. And so you can maybe go hang out with him there and intern. There are also other artistic opportunities, like I've already mentioned, like the graphics design and so on. But yeah, so that's what we're on about at the moment. So there's quite a few things that you can be praying about. And if these don't really sound like something that you're, you know, kind of being drawn to, I would encourage you to look at the prayer opportunities, because really when we are talking to God about things that maybe we're concerned about or matter to us, it's an opportunity to hear back from him and what he's got to say about that. But yeah, so I would love to maybe have a conversation with you online about it if you're interested. But yeah, otherwise speak to your local rep, whoever that is. But for this event, it's Douglas. So thanks so much.